Voice for Ukraine now is in Göransgården, Uppsala. I just want to tell you a little bit about our story, the story of my family here in Uppsala, because we have such great support from Göransgården and Sara Friman and her team when we came here because of the war.
Well, my name is Sara Friman and I'm responsible for this clinic for people with psychiatry diagnosis. This clinic has a very long history. It started 1934 by this person beside me, Göransgården, which gave the name of the clinic, Göransgården. She was a nurse. Compared to the normal tradition in Sweden, we had big clinics for psychiatry patients, not homes. So she was one of the first starting home for psychiatry patients. And she started in this house. She only had this house. She lived in a very small room here and had 6 patients living with her, doing things with them compared to these big clinics who had thousands of patients, not living in a home-like environment. So she was very, very unusual. So she started with this house and then she got more patients. So she built another house and another house and another house. And in the end, it's 10 houses for people to live in. And with things to do in the garden and having their own flat, eating together, having a sort of new family. And of course, nowadays we have treatments of different kinds depending on the problems the persons who comes here have. But she was very unusual on that time, and she worked here all her life until 1970 something when she stopped working. But she was still in the border then. So this is a private foundation with a border and with not an interest of making money, except of having money to give a good life for the people who lives here, compared to other businesses who have treatment as a business. But of course, we have to have an economy, and we have lots of communities who buys places for patients here. Göransgården also have a history of helping people in need. When the Second World War began, Göransgården helped 4 or 5 German girls with job and accommodation as well here to save them from the Second World War. We got a question from foster parents to a young person from Afghanistan who has gone through the gymnasium in Sweden, and he was going to be sent back to Afghanistan if he didn't get a job at least for 2 years. So the border decided to give him a job here because he has gone through the education for a second nurse, the lower grade of nurse. So he has now got a job for 2.5 years, which should become to the migration rules. It will give him the possibility to stay in Sweden forever and get citizenship. So we have a tradition, an engagement in helping. And then when the Ukrainian war came, we discussed that, and we had a flat which we were going to use for the clinic. The board decided to let me ask around if someone knew some people who needed accommodation and a flat. We got a phone call saying, we know a family who needs a flat. They have 3 children and they're 2 grown-ups. And then we decided to let them have the flat and to furniture, everything. When the staff eat at the clinic, the staff pays for tickets to eat. We decided that all the money for the tickets that the staff paid should go to this Ukrainian family that we decided to help, because we realized that the Migration Bureau, it would take months before this family would get any economic support from the migration office. So all the staff, they knew this, and they also collected a lot of clothes, baby toys, baby things. So all the staff at the clinic was very helpful, and they asked their friends for help. So we actually have more things than the family could use. When the staff have their vacation, we need people to work for them. So we decided to offer a work in the summer for the husband in the family. So he's now working in the clinic over the summer. We were concerned about how the family felt, and if they were very traumatized. Of course, we were concerned about that. But we have a lot of nationalities in Sweden, and we have a lot of nationalities in the clinic, and for us it's normal to have people from different countries and from different cultures. For me personally, it's about doing something instead of nothing, and see what can I do. And we could help this person from Afghanistan, but we can't help everyone from Afghanistan, but we can help one. And we can help one family from Ukraine, and instead of none. So I think it's important to do something. We didn't know so much, but we were all very shocked and felt very upset about the war. When the war started in Ukraine, I saw everywhere, for example, my nearest ICA, they gave a certain amount of money every month to Ukraine. So I think for us, because Ukraine is so near us and actually is a part of Europe, That's why Swedes try to help so much as they do. You see people who never had done anything for anyone, renting buses and going down to with supply and to collect people. A little bit like the white buses at the Second World War, which also was a Swedish man who started these white buses, who collected and saved a lot of people from the Second World War. Ukraine is a country very alike us, and that makes it, I think, easier for the common person to react as well. And then, of course, we hope the war will end. That's something we really, really would like to see soon.